Morning. Morning. Yes. She's out of a little hole, a little rabbit hole. My little glory here. My little glory here. Look, Karen Brewer's got a song.
You keep saying you got
Something for me.
something you call vaccine, but I confess you've been messing where you shouldn't
Been
have
a
been
messin'.
And now someone else is getting all your best. These boots were made
For walking.
and that's just what they'll do.
Yeah.
And one of these days, these
Boots
boots
are
are
gonna
gonna
walk all over you.
And that will be the 9th of January, Anzacs. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing. And you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saving when you should be changing. What's right is right, but you ain't been right yet.
I love it.
These boots were made
For walking.
and that's just what they'll do. And
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
9th of January, Saturday week, folks. Get ready. Hi, Carol. Hi, Joe. You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing. And you keep thinking you'll never get burned.
Oh.
I just found me a brand new box of matches. And everybody knows they ain't time to learn. These boots are made
For walking.
and that's just what they'll do. And come the 9th of January, we're gonna walk all over you. Good evening, Anzacs. How we all doing?
Doing
To
good.
my fellow Anzacs in Australia, how you liking that lockdown again, eh, guys? And to my fellow Anzacs here in New Zealand. Well, things are really ramping up. I got a lot of things to discuss with you this evening, and I can't make this a 10-minute video. So I hope you all settle in. I also ask you all, when this is over, I would ask you to share it as far and as wide as possible, because come the 9th of January, all Anzacs across both sides of the ditch, we are calling on you all to come together and stand united as one people. Billy Tika here announced this evening that here in New Zealand there will be a gathering at Aotearoa Square in Auckland on the 9th of January. I am asking every New Zealander to do what you need to do. Make sure you are there, 9th of January.
You know, she nearly said every able-bodied. So I'll link this. I most probably won't watch it. But you pray. You pray. You check in. You do what your Lord and Commander says, no matter what. No matter what the cost, you do what he says. You know, the hardest thing is to obey. And I'm sorry, I should have organised it, but I'm probably going to make this short. And how I'm going to find it, the Lord's going to find it for me. Before the election, the Lord gave me a word called the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth. And it surprised me that the Lord God was political. But he has another stream. I'm talking and hoping to prophesy. He has another stream. He has another river that runs. He has another valley that he lays low. And he has a ring of fire that he left here as a mark. And there's no accidents or mistakes. We're on it. This is the band. This is the band, Lisa. Battle of the bands. Battle of the bands. Burning ring of fire. No accidents or mistakes in my story. The one I wrote about you. No accidents or mistakes in Karen Brewer's story. The one the Lord Jesus Christ wrote about her that we're hearing now. Can you see them? Can you see the army of God? Can you see the new recruits? The new recruits. The new recruits. Shame on you, you're the new recruits. Can you see them? Shame on you, you're the new recruits. The Lord does see them. The Lord does see them. Do you have the eyes to see them? Can you see them? Can you see them? Can you see them? Can you see them broken-hearted? Can you see them battle-weary? Can you see them at home packing up, being ready? Can you see them getting their stuff organised? Can you see them saying their goodbyes? Can you see them realising that they're going to lose everything? Can you see them? Pulling together what's left of their lives and walking out the door and saying goodbye. Thrown into the sheaf of battle, in the middle of the fire, in the middle of the battle. Some of them are battle hardened. Some of them are. Some of them are. But they're not that hard. They're soft inside. They're soft inside like marshmallow fish. Like marshmallow fish. This lady's like a marshmallow fish. Because why she does what she does is why she says what she says, why she comes across the way she comes across, why people they're repelled by her. They are. The world is repelled by her. The Lord says she's like a kebab, like a barbecue kebab. Like she's got pieces of chicken or steak running down her, a spear, a long spear. You know, it's dangerous to eat the meat on those things. How do you do it? You eat round the side, you know. You can't get the last one by sticking it down your throat, can you? When you finish, toss it into the fire. It's not a great picture. She's been diced up, chopped up. Diced up, chopped up. And push down the shaft of that spear. And barbecue, she's a kebab man. She's a kebab man. She's just a tasty treat, just a little tidbit she is. She's not a piece of steak or nothing to them. She ain't nothing to them. You know, I sort of think of like a troll, you know, with big giant hands that would just make a meal of that. You know, it's like they don't care that it was made with tender, loving trouble. You know, the trouble you go to make a kebab. It's the same thing as a piece of meat or a chicken breast, but it's the way it's displayed. It's the way it's displayed. It's highly regarded food. You know, it's dinner party food. It's dinner party food. It's something special, but you know, the way a troll eats, it's nothing. It just, you know, look at it. It turns its head sideways and boom, it's down its throat. Actually, they don't even pull the skewer out, do they? They would eat that. It's gonna be, it's like a giant's meal. There's no appreciation in it of what went into preparing that meal. Hey, Glory. I don't even know where I'm going, but I know that I'll get there. So I don't really feel victorious about this in the spirit. I don't. You know, precious, precious, precious lady. Precious lady. But in the end, to a troll, it's all the same. It's just meat. That's all we are. We're just meat. Thank you, Glory. Go see how they are. So, this is the same band. This is one, I'm sure this is one of the songs we sang to. We must have learned 2 or 3 songs. So when I was living in my flat, and it was just before my children's father, Joseph, come on the scene. It was just before I met his brother, and he moved into the flat. It was just before that. And I was at art school, and I had a female flatmate. One of the guys had a girlfriend. But, yeah, my flatmates were men. I had a flat. I could have at least 4 flatmates and to pay the rent. And it was a ridiculously low price. It was $80 a week, split between 5 people. It was ridiculous. And I had different people coming in and out. it was almost, you could say it was like a halfway house. Because I was a rescuer. But really the Lord showed me I was a martyr. And I was a double down, well not a double down, but turn it down, martyr. Dying for all the wrong reasons. Sacrificing, giving for all the wrong reasons. In my own strength. And then when it didn't work out, because people didn't perform the way which I expected them to perform, outcomes weren't the way that I expected them to come out, because really I was powerless and I didn't know it. Just like this lady. I always had to come out standing, didn't I? You can't fall to the ground, can you? No. And the way you come out standing is, you've got to be outstanding, don't you? You've got to be outstanding at the end of it all. Got to get back up and fight another day. The good fight, you think, but it's not. It's not a good fight. It's not a good fight when you're using the same power as them, trying to change the world, trying to change yourself, trying to change the people around you, try and change the world. It's the same power, isn't it? Exact same power. It's called the Vril. It's called the Vril. Because the thing is that all those things need to be changed. Everyone's trying to change it. Everyone's trying to change the world. So I know the song because there was a lot of musicians and there was Battle of the Bands. So we all just, we put a band together. We had a drummer. He was the core of the band, really. We had a lead singer. He was a lovely man, alcoholic. We had a bass player. He was a lovely gentleman, long-haired man. He ended up, he was gay. Not at the time. Well, he was at the time, but we didn't know. He had a girlfriend. And his girlfriend, and there was another fella, had a girlfriend, Jess. And there was me. So we were the three. We were like Diana Ross, and we had little hand movements we did. We sang this song, and we sang Burning Ring of Fire, and we practiced all of 2 or 3 weeks, and then we got in the competition, and we were the most popular. And it was because we knew everyone, really. We were in the know, we knew everyone. But there were separate judges, and it was Dunedin, it was, you know, people who were serious about being musicians, and then there were these other ones that just, like us, that just, well, we were the only other ones that did this. They just did it for a lark. We just did it for a lark. It wasn't our lives or anything, it was just something we did. And we come third. Or did we come fourth? I don't think we made it to the finals, but so as soon as she started that song, I knew what that was about. So I don't know where I'm going, but we did it for a lark. Our hearts were half in it and half out. Half in it and half out. We got a result, but we didn't make it into the finals. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were just wasting time here. I wonder what's going to happen. All I know is that this is about the burning ring of fire. And that she's fodder. Well made, elaborate, a lot of time's been spent on her to get her to this place. But she's still just fodder. And I suppose the picture the Lord gave me was a feeding frenzy with animals in a trough. But this time the picture is like a troll. A troll. And so there's two things that I have to find. Because the man I met from Tui'iwi, it's a convoluted story, but basically it was a car crash. It was a car crash that did it. I lied. I didn't mean to lie, but I forgot to tell you that there's another car crash. There was the RV, but the other car crash was my husband when we went out, when we didn't open home, we went out in our car, which I hadn't warranted or registered because I wasn't using it, and well, we had no money. I'd given up work, but it was too long for us to go out walking with the dog. Marty wasn't a walker, so we went for a drive, and he made a mistake, indicated to turn and didn't, and the outcome was the insurance company said that the other car was at fault, and we ended up having our car paid off with $5,000 in our pocket, which we needed because we needed at least another month until the money came through from the house, which sold that day. We didn't know it had sold, but that's when the people who bought it walked through it. But Marty didn't know any of that, and I said that I would take responsibility when we didn't know that we were going to get out of it with the insurance. I would take my half of the responsibility. But I wasn't driving. I wasn't driving, I didn't do it. But I willingly was going to take my half of the responsibility. Because that's just the way God is. It wasn't me. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. And he was so angry. And he was sort of like wounded in battle, really. He wasn't broken. And I saw him, I'll never forget seeing him walking through the door, and he said, looking up to the sky, what is it? What else is there, Lord? What else do you want to do to me? Come on, bring it on. And he shook his fist, just like we're going to do. When it happens, when all this happens, when the Lord told us that that's what people would do, blame God. Blame God, when all the time the Lord was using our mistakes and accidents to bless us, and we didn't know it. Because we just didn't know it. Because we just didn't know Him. So don't get all upset about. I know that they're not doing what God's called them to do. I know they're not hearing God, that they're hearing the rule, that they're trying to change themselves, the world, and each other. And I know they think it's his foolishness and weakness. To say any of the things I'm saying, but it's a shriek. I don't know, I'm not going to read the book, but Shrek, I know that he was named out by a kid, but he looked like this. Some teenagers, they called him Shrek. I know they named him after the troll. But Shrek is the name of the firstborn New Year's Eve last year. It's what the message is. We are going to shriek. We're going to shriek. We're going to cry out. We're going to scream. When we're delivered, which means when this evil was, when Jesus cast the evil out of the demons, the men, out of man, when the demons come out, when they flee, there's going to be a lot of shrieking. That's what Shrek means. It's that word. It's crazo is the last part of it. It's Anna was the first part. Up, crying up. It's not shaking your fist like I saw Marty do. It's one down from that, that's for sure. And crazo. So I found that word crazo today. It's a word gold trail. It goes back to Satan 2020 and Ryan Reynolds. Super cool guy, that guy. It's Ryan Reynolds. He's produced an ad that's gone viral. Everyone loves it. He did that, I keep forgetting the name of it. Look at the movies that he does. Oh, Deadbeat or something. What's the name of that superhero? You're going to laugh, but let's just call him Deadbeat till it comes back to me. Looks like Venom, but he's got 2 eyes. Really clever. Really clever. And then I thought of Venom. And then I realised looking at Venom, they're like they're all Marvel comics. He is, that's the venom, isn't it? Of course, it's the poison, it's the vaccine, so we know that. But he is epitomised just like Angel Fall, James Bond, by a theme song. Billie Eilish did the theme song for Angel Fall because they know it. They know all the stuff that this lady doesn't know. And Eminem had a song that is the theme song for Venom, and I never really thought about it until the Lord showed me. And the title of it is, well, it's the name of an act of war, something to do with war, to do with the Japanese. You can Google it, but there's that word crazo is in it at the end. So that's as far as I've gone with that gold trail. But it's enough for me to know that the time is now for that. Because that was last New Year, and this is this New Year, isn't it? And it didn't come when we wanted it to come. I thought it would come at midnight, but it come just after. And that's how come I've got the number. It's a timestamp. And then this is a sheep called Shrek. So because we had the car crash, I was talking to Paul from the West Coast here, and he offered us a car. He offered me a car so I could do my groceries. Because we weren't going to replace it. We would just go wait for the house and decide what we would do. I got my Courier. He got an Infinity. And that's not a mistake or an accident either. Don't get caught in room 8. It's when the accuser just keeps accusing you for infinity. Because you got no covering from sin. And you don't die. It's eternal hell. Don't get caught in room 8. Infinity. Infinity and beyond. There's nothing beyond it. But it goes forever. Just like eternity. But it's their version of an eternity. And people think it's nice. It ain't nice. It ain't nice. We've got a foretaste of it now, haven't we? We've got a foretaste. Been accused all the time, aren't we? But that is the war. That's the war the Lord showed me. It's a shame. It's a shame. Like snakes, the bottom of their legs, and it's just holding people back just from getting up. These ones. There's so many broken people in there. They're in the army, right? They can't get up until those snakes are gone. And it's the last thing to go. And that's where we're at. This is what's exciting about this eagle. That's why it's all about the eagle, suddenly. Suddenly it's all about the eagle. It's the very end of the battle. Rick Joyner's vision. The hordes of hell are marching. That I got given to me in a bookshop. Oh my Lord. Why? Now I know why it was a bookshop. Because of the movie, The Bookshop. Now when the lady thought she had lost this war, the bookshop, the dream was gone and she got on a ship to leave. The little girl was standing there seeing her off, but she had burnt the bookshop to the ground. It was burning behind her. Now I got on a bus and I met Nigel. He's a man from Tuahiwi. I found out he's Ngāti Māmoe. His ancestors ate the Waitaha. And then Ngāi Tahu ate his people. They're extinct like the dodo bird, but they still live on in Ngāi Tahu, South Island Māori tribe, which is the one the Lord's going to speak to first. And because I got on that bus to go and pick up the car from the West Coast, I met Nigel. I ended up on the land because he offered for me to live on the land and do a wee bit of work for him, building. I found the land where the Lord wanted me to be. The land, the first pa, the Waitaha and the Ngāti Māmoe. That's their home pa. I don't know what happened further to south. And that was really what we found out a little bit about with Rigari and the two ladies when we went down south. They were saying they're from Ngāti Māmoe, the two of them. There was something wrong there. There was two women we met in a campground who said they were from Ngāti Māmoe. I walked away from that. It was a charade. But it wasn't, I told you that I had Jimmy here. And he was going to show me this book, Shrek. I have to say this quickly now. So this is Shrek. Now the reason why he's connected to Tuahiwi, and he's definitely called Shrek because of the way he looks. So cute. Is it's not because Jimmy Cassily's brother wrote the book, because he didn't. It's because Jimmy Cassily's brother is a world-renowned Guinness Book record sheep shearer, and he sheared that sheep. I know this sounds strange. Like Paul Fahey doesn't care too much for Jimmy Casserly. Paul Fahey only wants to talk about Jimmy Casserly's brother, because Jimmy, who was here, he sold furniture. And everyone knew him, and he did it well. You know, he was New Zealand's biggest bed seller. But his brother shore sheep, and he shore this one. Now this one got away, and I know that the Lord is saying 6 years. For 6 years this sheep avoided being shorn. They were looking high and low for it, and they couldn't find it, and that's what the Lord will do for us. But it's also mockery, because it gets found and it gets shorn, and it gets paraded around the country. Oh, I just think God's funny. But Jimmy's brothers, he's got 2 brothers, and they're both married to Māori women. I don't know what's happened to them. They're both married to Māori women, and they both live over in Tua'iwi, of all places, on the same land. It's called High Ridge because it's a good vantage point for a battle, and that's why the Māoris first started laying down their feet there. And then it ended up being Kaiapoi, which was just beyond, in the flats in Canterbury, and that's where they had the big wars and everything. I haven't read any of the books that Gary gave me, because anything I say, I mean, I'm never going to educate myself the way that other people have spent lifetimes doing. But I just plan to just get my information from God. And I know that there's a message that will turn hearts to God, back to God, so that we actually fight this battle with the right armour, because our weapons are not carnal, but they are spiritual, right? And that's the army. So it's all about an army. And these boots are on the ground on the 6th of January. And things are manifesting in the natural, but they're all pointing to the spiritual. These boots are made for walking. That's just what they'll do. So the word is not to walk, is it? It's to run. It's the Running Man. So I just watched the Running Man today. And I need to bring a couple of words that I had in November 2019. And they're about a rabbit and a hare. It's the story of the rabbit and the hare. It's a real surprising story, the way the Lord shows us what it really means. So I'm definitely going to be bringing those. So these boots aren't made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. Yeah, it's a lie, because it's running. It's a running man.